Okay, welcome all to the November 1st meeting of the Dudley Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners. We'll open the meeting at 6:45 with the Pledge of Allegiance.
And the meeting's being recorded.
Oh, yes, and this meeting is being recorded.
Thank you.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, minutes from October 4th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from October 4th as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, there's nobody here, so we'll pass over 4. 5, possible sewer infrastructure fee. I believe that's yours.
Yeah, with all the extended costs we're incurring now. I think we should start thinking about having something on new connections.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to see what. Do we have enough expense to really, added new expense to do that?
Well, the purpose behind the water one that we put in place wasn't necessarily to do the added expense, it's that we know we have millions and millions of dollars.
Dollars of,
Of upgrades that need to be done, and we've already identified 2.something million in sewer upgrades that need to happen in order to lift the moratorium, so.
right.
We know there's a lot more sewer upgrades that need to happen, so I kind of agree with your recommendation to come up with one, we just need to come up with a fundamental term.
Can we go over what the fee is now? It's per bedroom, right? So for the
That's
average, say,
connection.
3 or 4 bedroom, you have your flat fee, right?
The flat fee plus,
It's depending on, hold on, the number of bedrooms.
Yeah, number of
varies.
bedrooms, right?
Yep. So, 1 bedroom, it's 1,800, 2 bedrooms, 24, 3 is 36, 4 is 48, 5 is 6,000. And then we charge them the new meter fee, which goes to if both
That
sewer
pays
and
for the
water,
fee.
right, you know,
Pays for the meter.
but that is what we have currently.
What about additional fees for the Webster treatment plant? We've got additional fees coming in soon, right?
we do have based on our meeting over there, we have increased costs coming there. We would raise it by 10%, what our payment was to them.
Yeah.
But they have some huge upgrades coming up that are gonna definitely increase our costs. I think we should probably put a little more effort into the I&I, because anything that we can reduce going to Webster also reduces our cost. Because our costs there are based on percentage of total flow at the Webster treatment plant. So if we can reduce our
Our inflow to the
our
plant, yeah.
flow to Webster, it will reduce our expenses across the board for Webster.
I agree with the thinking, but the other thinking is we have to have this moratorium released, because right now the moratorium is taking 50%, 60% of the town where you won't be tying in that respect, so it's, and that's where the growth is. That's where the available land is, I would say, for any future buildings. So, good thought, yes, but,
Kind of have that catch-22 though.
yeah, now
Yeah,
you're
but
stuck.
are we gonna spend the $3.2 million to fix the problem, so people can tie in,
Oh, I guess we got,
you know?
I think it's coming,
It's,
right?
I don't know, I look at it from as, the water increase, that's because of new construction that was needed. The plant, all of the PFAS stuff, and that sort of thing, to defer, push some of that cost to folks who jump onto the system after the fact.
It's the same, Mr. Chair.
The increase that's coming up now, though, is not new construction. It's it's maintenance and repair, basically. It's that interceptor has been causing problems. There have been bubble ups on West Main Street, how long? 25 years? 30 years? It's been happening in big storms, was happening back in the 90s. I remember when I was on the fire department, that we'd have instances where it would be coming up so strong that it'd be lifting the manhole cover up. It's just that now it's on the radar because of greater oversight from the higher up, from the state. So yeah, that's been that's been an issue that's needed to be repaired for a long time. I don't know, does that warrant adding a fee? I don't know. It could go either way.
Or we could just look at not fixing it and fix some of the infiltration, and then everybody, we never lift the moratorium.
We have to, well, if we're not doing anything to fix it, then I think we're here for the right reason. But that's,
But I don't agree with charging the people that are on the system now to pay for fixing it just so other people can tie in.
it's not just fixing it. Well, that's a disagreement. I'm not gonna get into it here. I disagree, but that's okay.
Yep,
I mean,
that's
if-
why we're here.
we can explore it to see if one is warranted and what it might be. I'm not sure how best to do that. I don't know who we can have to,
You said it was a maintenance issue, but it's actually not, Scott. It's an upgrade.
It is, it's undersized.
yes, it's undersized, it needs to be repaired.
That's an upgrade.
Well,
Because it was originally
Because you-
designed properly to manage the
Talking
flow
about
that-
completely replacement, right?
Yeah.
From one end to the other end. So
With a
that's
bigger pipe.
Okay, I mean,
maintenance would be fixing one
you
section.
can do
of
what
it.
you want,
I mean,
it
maintenance-
doesn't have to be unanimous.
Maintenance would be if we took care of all the I&I issues. We repair everything that's leaking, and then the pipe size may be correct to handle the normal flow, because as the report from Time Bond said, it can handle our normal flow. It's the storms that cause the problem.
Right.
So you're either doing an upgrade on the pipe to fix the problem of the overflow,
Okay.
or you repair the system so you don't have the rain.
Right.
effect.
I just think we're pushing further and further into restricting new development. But that's, it's the majority, so. We can look
need to pay
into
for
it
the
and see what
repairs
we can
one
come
way
up
or
with.
another.
Right.
Yes, we do.
You just gotta decide on which way you wanna pay for it. Whether we do more borrowing and it adds to the fees, you create a fee per unit, you create a rate increase. You know, that's the way we're doing it on the water side, we're doing a rate increase. But you could design it so that you're paying for this project and there's a fee based on how many bedrooms or whatever per customer. And once it's paid off, that fee goes away. So I mean, you raise the rates, they're never gonna go down.
Right.
You're just gonna keep charging it. So if you wanna do a specific repair, a better route might be to add a fee for that repair to get the repair fixed. Similar like a debt exclusion.
It's a, yeah, if you don't have any development, then it never gets paid, so.
Well, that would be.
Right,
on
well,
top.
Mr. Chairman, I agree that it'd be nice having more businesses in town, but we're here for the benefit of the sewer users now.
Okay. Okay, so we'll, see if you can come up with some numbers that, that bear that out. I don't know if you wanna put it in the form of a motion or not, but, we'll have to work on some numbers to find out what,
I don't think we need a motion, Mr. Chairman, I think
okay,
Needs to be a further discussion.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it just has to stay open, you know?
All right. We don't have the moratorium on here, do we? That bill, that request that we got for Lynn Lane?
Yeah, it came in.
So this
Came in
was
this week.
after the 48 hours, so
You can discuss it.
open it under new business.
All right, so yeah, well, okay, we'll take it up at the end then. Okay, discussion regarding interaction and information sharing with other town boards and entities. I put this on I think we discussed it briefly last month, but,
It has to be continued or held over like the last one. So I just put it on for follow-up.
yep, I don't know, has anybody given it any thought? I just, it's getting to be, every board appointed, every board elected wants us to come to them to give them information.
Just tonight.
In the case of, for example, our engineering firm, they come and they give us a presentation of information, and then we're supposed to take that and give that to the individual boards. And that becomes an interpretation of what was presented. I think I would like to work out something that would invite them to come and see it, to get it firsthand. I don't know if anybody else has any thought on that. It's just getting to be crazy. Run into this meeting, run into that meeting, and it, half the time they don't believe what we say anyways, and they want to hear it from the engineer themselves. Well, we're not going to pay our engineer to go see multiple boards to give them information. They can come and see the engineer the one time he comes to town.
Well, that being said, it brings up something that I just came across, that the town of Dudley, I guess, got awarded $2-point-something million to do sewer upgrades that I don't know if anyone on this board was aware of.
That's right, you pointed that out the other day.
So that kind of concerns me that the sewer department wasn't consulted in a $2 million upgrade on the sewer infrastructure.
Yes.
You know who went for that bond?
I have no
Isn't that-
idea who applied for it.
It's just listed as town of Dudley.
Someone had to do the filing.
But yeah, it was a mass work, so I would assume it was someone along the planner or someone along that line.
He hadn't been in contact with me on any of that. I mean, I was keeping in touch with him as far as
How big was the
grants out there and
How
stuff.
big was the?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was
2.5, I thought you said.
2.4 million or 2.5.
That'll love to be the price.
Well, on that same topic, there was something to hire some firemen also?
Well, that's not our concern
Oh,
here.
Would that be under the same?
No, that's
No,
a safer.
No, that's a safer grant,
that's
yeah.
totally different.
It's under Mass Works?
Sewer
Okay.
improvements. I can make that call tomorrow. That's right. That was brought up. Okay, so I mean, there has to be, the communication between boards has been sketchy at best for years. And it's, like I've discussed with some in the past, it's constantly fighting. And, I'm just finished with fighting. If we can't find a way to get pass information, that, we gotta find out who that is. We need to, I mean, there's gotta be a better way.
Yeah. All these years of trying to respond with Webster next door, and you found out someone else was receiving the mail. It wasn't even coming to our office.
Right. So, all right, well, see if I can get something going with that. There's a meeting next week, so. See if we
Yeah,
can get
meeting
some
with who? Corner office?
Corner office. That'll come up late, at the end. Just wanna power through the agenda, then we can deal with other things. Exception meter upgrades?
Any prices for them? There was a follow-up.
Brian had those prices.
Haven't gotten anything.
Okay, so we need some pricing to be able to,
What's his name? Brian usually had, not our Brian, the other Brian from Ty Sills is the one we contact for that.
okay, so we need to get a price so that we can set a fee for upgrading so that folks, that's gonna come up, that's not gonna happen now, not gonna happen this time of year, but, it's gonna start happening in the spring.
I have to send out a
Folks-
letter.
When yes, when folks
So-
want their lawns.
Do we know how many exception meters are in the system right now?
182-ish.
182, Steve?
Roughly, yeah.
Geez, didn't we?
Some of them are not working.
I know at least one doesn't work.
Some of them are not working.
There's one in one of my family members' homes that,
Yep, some of them we're not getting readings on.
Our concentration was on our main meters as we were going, so those were the last to be in the series to be done. So we're just getting to them now to see what.
these are the folks that have them on
Have them there
there,
for years or don't, some
Outside.
don't use them, some have 'em still, some want them still.
and we're not gonna allow new ones, correct? Right. So we need to firm that up before springtime comes, because that's when
Yeah.
the usage on them. So, see if you can get that information for next meeting. Parts pricing is the same thing.
Yep.
Coming up with a price list for common parts that folks are gonna,
That's all with Brian too, tying bonds.
But if you-
I mean,
type bills. If you can come up with a list, present it to us and we can approve it or deny it. It doesn't take a whole lot of work there.
Do we currently have a markup on parts?
Not a markup, but I think they're looking at raising them up now again very shortly. And some steel is up there, just turning the curve. So I'm glad I got the pipes I got.
Okay, number 9, Webster True Up. We've got that in our, we had that meeting last,
Scratching it back, yeah.
my pants are black. Nah, it'll stop.
That's good, because I remember.
What good are you? So Webster True Up, we had the meeting last Thursday. I do have the notes here for creating the minutes for it. We are, I did have a discussion with Brian the other day, and Jen, about and George for that matter, right? Who was on the phone a lot that day. My boss wasn't in the office. We trying to come up, if we're gonna be out of balance that much for 2023, we very well will be out of balance that much or more for 2024. So I think it's, at least in my mind, it'd be a good idea to get ahead of it now. I asked what we had for available funds that we could tap into before the town meeting in May, to start paying a little maybe paying a little extra. And Brian suggested the capital line item in sewer is $100,000. If we tap into that a little bit each month as we go along, barring any need for the capital money, we can maybe get ahead of it. We crunched a few numbers, and it looked at like, if we added 15,000, starting in November, if we added 15,000 to each monthly payment, that would be about 105,000 at the end of the fiscal. The May town meeting comes before then, we can supplement the budget then, to make up the difference. It's just, that's barring any unforeseen capital expenses. But I just thought it would be a good idea to start paying a little more on the Webster bill until we can get the true up figured out. Otherwise, we're gonna be behind by large amounts of money every year.
can we break it down? Right now, we're paying an additional 10,000. Is it 10,000 a month? 16 months?
10%.
10%.
10%, it's about $4,000.
Yeah, so by the time we get done with everything the other night, so we're saying our monthly fee, 43.5 or whatever we submit.
Yeah.
We're looking at that, not the capital. We're looking at our flow.
Right,
So the potential of our flow going up to possibly 55 per month from 43, give or take.
43
It's
to,
40, it was 40.
It's 43.5, and you're saying maybe another 15
yeah.
to square off?
that'd be
It's
like
gonna
almost
be-
58.5.
Yeah, as I say,
It's
just
gonna
a
be about
sum.
that, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's because of the way they're figuring out the,
Yeah, I know.
they're crunching the numbers now, it's,
But we haven't heard back from our man.
no, we
as
haven't
to
heard
what
back
he's
yet.
thinking about it.
So, I just think it would be a good idea to,
I agree, Mr. Chairman.
get ahead of it.
Yeah, because you're facing it. It's coming.
It's all I've been dealing with for the last many years. Remember the hard market, all that area. That's what that is. Fine.
So,
So the next question, would do we have to reflect on our rates to start covering that?
can we have one discussion? It's distracting.
Would we have to start thinking about a rate increase in the next year or so, to start covering that somehow?
I don't
Can't
know.
keep taking it out of the bank every year.
No, we put a lot into retained earnings this year, especially on sewer. What was it, like,
1.2.
yeah, well, we're at 1.2 now, but we put, what did we put about? Almost over 500,000 in retained earnings. So, I mean, I'm scratching that up to I and I. Cutting our, well, actually, no, because it's, I don't know what it is, why we're so much higher. But, we can deflect some of that to
Pay for this.
pay for this,
Or deflect some of the.
if we have to.
Yeah, and that,
Or we use part of that for the end.
But we can add to our budget and then work that down.
that would be a good thing for the users too. You know,
Or we
instead
could
of hitting
use part of that to do the interceptor.
Right.
Yeah, for construction.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's coming too then.
So, I think that's gonna need to be in the form of a motion to increase that payment.
Do we have a dollar amount or is it a percentage we're looking at?
We crunched around that, about 15,000, I think will get us closer. We might still, this year, we may be, if we have the same shortfall this year as last year, we'll still be about 30,000 short, I believe. But it's hard to tell, we don't, how much flow are we gonna have to Webster? It's all based on how much we send to them.
Mr.
I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we up our monthly fee to Webster by 15,000 till the end of the fiscal year.
And that would be, I brought the bill. Okay, there's a motion, is there a second? There it is.
Well, we don't have that money in the budget. We'd have to go to town.
No, capital.
Or take it out of capital.
Can't come off the capital line.
15, that's-
And it's only taking a little bit each month rather than,
yeah.
emptying it out. If something does come up with capital, then we can,
Make a motion, bring it back down.
we can pull back a little bit if we have to. We're at, 42,350 a month right now. 508,200, we'd be increasing that to, 42 will be 57,350.
What's our payment now?
42,350 a month.
And you're saying fiscal year? I think it's June. So that's 7 months.
Yeah.
That'll, 7 months you'll wipe it out.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
picking up full dollar numbers.
70,
Yeah, we're-
30,
we're
90,000.
quite-
10%.
7 months you'll wipe it out. So it'll be in good standing.
yeah. I just don't, I don't wanna have to be that far off year after year after year. I think we're best to, so anyways, we've got a motion, and did we get a second?
Oh, just discussions. fiscal year takes us to June.
To June, right.
So that's basically 7 months away, and that's about there's 70,
That's 105,000.
there you go, right there, you know, it's gonna wipe it out.
It is,
So-
we have a town meeting between now and then where we can,
So if you wanna
we can
do it,
supplement if we have
at
to.
least you can swing it.
Right,
So we're supposed to second before we have discussion.
right. There should be a second
So I'll second it just to.
for discussion, okay.
For discussion. So how much do we have in capital?
100,000.
Yeah, how many months left?
If we started, what, at 6, it would be 8. It would be 8. If we started with November, it would be 8. If we started with December, it would be 7.
Start in December, then.
That's 120,000.
Yeah.
120, okay.
So I don't know that we can approve spending more than we have.
Start the first of the year if you want them.
So I mean,
Or just-
We're not taking, we're
I
not
would say
we're not
cut it
taking
down.
it all at once, that's the thing, is if.
Yeah.
it's
No, I
something-
understand, but I'm
just a
thinking maybe
monthly-
cut it down to like, try to 10, instead of 15. And start
Well,
at the beginning of the year.
We'd have to cut it down, because there's only so much money in that account.
Unless we can get through town meeting, right?
Right,
right, but
so
you're making a motion to
I said 15,
Okay,
but I'll amend
all right.
it.
expend more money than we have, that's my concern. I mean, I would,
Okay.
I
If you wanna make it 10, make it 10.
would think that if we make it a number that's palatable until we get to town meeting, and we can do an article on the special town
Right.
meeting.
We'll know more by then.
Right, and then we just,
What the true up
we would
is.
want to fund the balance, because otherwise we're
Right.
gonna keep going backwards year to year.
Right,
So,
right, yes, that, okay, that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll amend my motion to 10,000 a month.
what is that?
Okay.
Town meeting.
Well, what, depends on what date, maybe, like George said, first of the year, start in January.
Yeah, if we bring it down to that, we can start now.
So if you started in
Yeah.
January and we went to town meeting in December,
At 15,
Right. but
or if we decreased it to 10,
Do 10 now, and
it would be 80, starting now. So either way,
I'm afraid we're gonna hold the money either way.
that one way or another, we have to pay for it. And
we have to, I just wanna make, I mean,
by town meeting, we'll know, we'll have a better idea of what the true up is for this year. For 2023, then we can,
so is there,
we can supplement the budget for that.
is there an
for
advantage
2024.
to paying them ahead?
Just not having a big bill at the other side.
I'm just, I mean, do they charge interest if we're?
No.
So, is it really a benefit to taking money out of our account that we can collect interest on, and pay them ahead of time, when I'm sure they'd be satisfied if we pay them before the end of the fiscal year, so. If we leave the capital in reserve, and then we, at town meeting, we see how much capital we have left, and then just put an article forth
Supplement?
to supplement the
Okay.
balance to cover it.
We can do that, I mean.
Just to talk it through, I don't know.
We're talking, you
That
know,
capital line that's there now, if you don't touch it, that goes into retained earnings.
Yeah, it goes back.
Yeah, it just goes
But then
back
you gotta
to,
go to town meeting to get it out, right?
Yeah.
So this way here, you can get it out now without going to town meeting.
But we're gonna have to go to town meeting to get the difference.
Balance.
we're gonna-
So.
we'll have a better number then, I just
Right.
was trying to be proactive.
I
Okay, it's a good idea, I'm just thinking.
And I understand the whole thing, there is no benefit to anyone.
From a financial standpoint, it's more beneficial for us to keep it in our account, where we should be collecting some interest, I'm sure it's not much,
Yeah, I'm sure it isn't. Okay.
but in the end, we wanna
Well,
end up getting.
I tend to agree now, but we need a vote to,
Well, we have an amendment to your motion, but no second on that amendment.
So, the amendment right now is 15, he amended it down to 10.
did say, but didn't get a second.
But he didn't get a second, so it's still at 15
Yeah.
and a second, I mean, we can vote it down, we can do
So
whatever.
we just,
Or,
if the second
we
didn't
send it.
carry, we take a vote on the first, deny it.
Yep. So, all in favor? Opposed? There we go. You're supposed to do that. All right, we'll just have to keep an eye out, and the indirect, I mean, our next meeting, actually, for you, our next meeting, I'll get you the notes, but our next meeting is January 25th, 2024.
Yeah, was that Thursday?
That's a Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Yep, it's a fourth Thursday. All right, budget review.
Indirects. Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, indirects. Last Thursday night, after the meeting was over with Webster, I spoke with Mr. Abrams and asked him if he would be, if his firm would be willing to come and work with, between the town and with the water department, with the enterprise, to determine, to modernize our indirect cost calculations as they were created back in the 90s. His answer, was to chuckle, and he said, "Yeah, no, back in May, he got contacted by somebody from the town side. I don't remember if it was. I didn't look and see if it was either Rich or either the treasurer collector, or the town administrator. But somebody had approached him about doing just that. But he sent a proposal, and then he never got an answer, so they didn't do anything.
Proposal in your,
Oh, yeah, the proposal is in our folders. I was greatly concerned by one condition in there, that they were asking to see if anything, if they could,
Any additional charges?
any additional charges could be given to the enterprise funds.
Excuse me,
So-
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
From the town. When the town asked, when whoever it was from either side, from either office called him, they were looking for it specifically to see if any more expenses could be attributed to the enterprise. That, of course, immediately raised a red flag for me. I would guess that the only way that we could use this firm, is with written assurances that the findings, whatever they are immune to prejudice from one side or the other. I don't know.
That, and it's binding, because we could go through the trouble of having it done and paying for it, and the town say, never mind.
They won't honor it.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, either way, no matter what comes up, either side can shoot it down, obviously. We can shoot it down, and so can they. If we were to say that it would be, if we say it's binding, then it's binding for both sides. But we would have to be in agreement, on both sides. So that's gonna need another discussion with doing this with a monthly meeting makes it very difficult to get any movement, but that's where we're at. So, where is it? Indirect proposal. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, if you want the wording here, town's interested in ensuring that the calculations used by the town accurately reflects the adopted methodology, and also in determining if there are any additional costs that could be allocated to the enterprise fund at a future time.
So, yeah, I don't want any, obviously, I wouldn't agree to using anyone that couldn't be, to eliminate prejudice for either side.
Can we find out who asked for that?
Actually, there it is, it's, to treasurer one. It was to the from the treasurer. Treasurer collector. That's why I meant to go back and look at that. The original proposal was sent to treasurer and CC to the town administrator. I don't see,
Excuse me if I'm wrong, Mr. Chairman, is that the treasurer's job to go into that kind of negotiation?
They never sent us a bill either.
yeah, I spoke with
Jen?
John Ruda today, and he is hopeful
Okay.
this work can be completed by this Thursday. They were looking for something to be done in 2 days.
This proposal done in 2 days?
That's back in March, yeah. This was on Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday to Thursday. That's probably why they didn't respond back. It just, the time, they ran out of time to try to get something done before March 14th. I don't know what was happening in mid-March.
So the other part that I found
Getting ready for town meeting, probably.
semi-humorous about this is this was March 14th, but when we went to meet with them, they had said it was the first they heard of it that we wanted to discuss in the regs. But yet they were preparing to discuss it with a third party.
In their behalf, maybe it wasn't them, maybe it was just town collector on his own. Right, right?
It says here that we discussed it with John Ruda.
Proposal,
okay.
yeah, he had a discussion with Ruda
Okay.
that he wanted it done by
I
Thursday.
take that back then.
They wanted it done by Thursday, but
He wanted the whole thing done by Thursday with the rate?
it was, we were trying to cram this work in quickly as there was an immediate need to get the indirects cleaned up. Maybe in time for budget deadlines. That's what they were trying to meet, a budget deadline. They couldn't, and they dropped it. But if we're gonna get indirects straightened out before the next budget cycle, we need to get moving on that as well. Unless somebody else wants to take it on, we need to be able to work between meetings to try to set up a framework. Otherwise, waiting 30 days in between each action is, we're never gonna get anywhere. So I don't know what anybody else wants to do. I'm going to be unemployed as of a week from next Monday. So I'll have time during the day to do things, but we need to determine how we're going to move this stuff forward in something more than a snail's pace. So I don't know what anybody's.
What did we say previously about the only other person, like an accounting firm, CPA, that could really crunch the numbers? Would there be CPAs or accounting firms that just do municipal work?
That's this company here
Yeah,
does that.
but we already got a bias.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's, from everything we've worked with him over in, working in Webster, it seems like they're very straight. If they assured us they were being straight and impartial, personally, I would take that from him, but that's just me.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of his name, our sewer friend. Does he have any contacts? Huh? Oh, yeah, Paul. Does he have any contacts with his business, with what he does? I mean, he's in the municipal business, he's in the game. Would he have any contacts?
I don't know. The, Ty and Bond, I believe they said they weren't interested.
No, no, ask if they know anybody who will take on that.
Engineering.
Yeah, they're not,
This is really an accounting issue, so.
right.
You need something.
I mean,
like
the
CPA.
thing in the 90s was written up by the Department of Revenue.
Thing is,
I don't know if they have a department that does that anymore.
you bring in an outside guy and he comes snooping around, is the town really gonna give him the information he's looking for?
Well, he's gonna talk to them, he's gonna talk to us, he's gonna talk to each individual department head.
as
that's-
far as
that's
payroll,
involved.
payroll, debt, man hours,
One,
you know?
just as a reference, one thing that I thought was very interesting, I didn't bring the papers in with me. That meeting last Thursday night, Webster's indirects are figured out by a flat percent. They take the enterprise budget, and they take the total town budget, and then what percentage, the total town budget was 26%, total sewer budget was three and a half million.
Right.
28 million and the 26 million, and they just took a flat percent, which is, I think, was like 12%, straight across the board.
But we also
All
looked at
departments.
that and found there's a huge flaw because
Yeah,
the school was.
They don't
not
have their
included
schools
in that,
figured in.
And the school does use all the services of its people. So
Mhm.
that number should really be based on the
Yep.
full budget, including the school.
but I'm just saying, if we took the 12% from what they're paying now, I think it's 12.4% across the board, all departments. And if they did add the school budget, if we compared ours, we'd be about 10%. And if they added municipal plus schools, we're at about 6%. Would be considerably less than what we're paying now.
And when we ran the numbers for Webster, it came out, I think, that it should have been more like 6%.
Yeah, yep. So they have some things they have to work out, but in any case, in our discussion, the indirect costs, we need to keep this moving. Does anybody object to my working with, trying to get somebody between us and the town that we can both agree on?
I think it should be someone that's more geared towards working on enterprise systems,
Okay,
more so than municipal, because municipal is more geared towards the municipal side.
okay.
So we need to kind of have a specialty.
Who can we contact to try to find?
I'll ask her.
We need to, look, it's November now, we need to get moving, or we're gonna be up against budget season, and we're gonna have the same calculations we've had right along.
Chairman, I appreciate your offer on behalf of the board that during your unemployment, you want to take this on.
I just wanna, this has been a
Very long.
stick up my backside for a long, long time, and, I just don't wanna see it just languish from being stuck in the bureaucracy of trying to get it through once a month meetings. But in any case, okay, I'll see if I can find,
Just a question, Mr. Chairman, is the collected treasurer do the budget for the selectmen?
I do not know. No, so the budget comes from in there, working with
All
department
right,
heads.
the indirect cost, does that come from the collected treasurer?
The indirect costs come off of calculations that were created in the 1990s. Those calculations are outdated. They don't fit what Dudley is
Understand
now.
that, but who does those calculations? Is it the administrator?
No, the treasurer collector does, because he's the money guy. He just uses he has a spreadsheet with all the calculations in it, and they punch in the numbers, and that's what comes out. What comes out
Maybe
comes
that's
out.
part of the problem, because we're getting billed for people that aren't there.
His argument at the selectmen's meeting is that even though they're not there, somebody's gotta be doing this.
Somebody's doing the job.
That was his argument. The selectmen.
So, in any case,
Who's the somebody? Who's the somebody doing the jobs?
yeah, that particular case, when that was brought up, was, I had brought up personnel board. We don't have a personnel board. Well, now the town administrator's doing that job.
I think the other one that was brought up as an example was maintenance.
The building maintenance, there's somebody from the highway that does it, yeah. So somebody is doing the job. you know, are the calculations correct? Are the percents correct? You know, someone's gotta be able to figure that out. So we'll have, see if we can call,
Well, it can't be correct, Mr. Chairman, if we're paying 75, 80% of the treasure collector salary, it's not right.
I know, that's why I want this. Okay. Keep working it. Anything further on that? Budget review. So we are at, let's see. We're at 1/3. We have 8 months left.
When do we get that rave code 911 corrected?
Oh, that, yeah,
It's
that,
still here from last month.
right, that should
Hoping to be
be,
getting it, he's applied for the grant,
Okay.
so hoping to be getting it.
So we're hoping on a grant?
No, he gets a grant every year for it. We're just hoping to be getting it. He just has to apply for it, and he's gotten it every year.
So what if he doesn't get it?
He's paying us regardless. Sorry.
How about he pay us and then he can pay himself back when he gets the grant?
Because that all came about because there wasn't enough money in
Yeah,
the
it wasn't.
budget, but I believe the budget got approved at the override.
Mm-hmm,
Actually, twice.
mm-hmm.
The original motion and through the original article and second.
I will
We-
send him an email.
send an email and see what,
How about we send a
and just let it, yeah, we'll see what, yeah, go ahead.
bill voucher to the corner office for that money?
I would just let the gentleman know at this point.
Yeah.
We don't get any
At this point, yeah.
Okay.
I'm noticing education licensing is overspent. What happened with licensing?
New people coming on.
Yep.
New licenses, training and retraining of us is coming up this year. So,
It's already at 117%.
It's because they've
They
been,
expire December 31st.
Correct.
Everybody's cramming to get your hours in before the end of it. So you shouldn't really have anything for next year.
correct.
Okay.
Unless you want to get
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be cramming it at the last minute. I've done it for years. I had to do it years with the EMS, and if you do this stuff, you know, on a timely basis, then, you know, spread out, then you don't end up having to cram at the end. But
Unfortunately
that's
for-
okay, as long as they can get their licenses renewed.
Yeah, for about 8 months, there were no,
Yeah,
the only
I-
training was backflow.
I know there was
some licensing and
with COVID. That's water, and then on sewer, Webster processing, we're a little high. We should be somewhere around 33%. Engineering's a little high.
So the,
Oh, capital's actually 110,000. Oh. There's a typo there somewhere. On the capital line, it says, budget current fiscal year,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
100,
And you go to proposed and.
proposed 2024 is 110. Oh, so it's 110, not 100. Okay,
yeah, so we have to correct some of these numbers.
okay, yep.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the reason why Webster's processing is higher is because November's already been pulled
Yep,
out of the
yep.
account. So, and everything else hasn't been pulled for November already.
But just like the indirect line, I know we put a number in there and
I don't know what was pulled yet. Yeah, get that.
but I mean, it says here is the proposed is 52.5, so that's.
Right.
I know that got shot down and we ended up agreeing.
I gotta find out what exactly it was.
Actually, it says 91, and then it says 52.5, and then available is 52.5.
No, that was on us.
Right,
That's us.
That was creating this whole spreadsheet.
Oh,
I'll look into that, I apologize.
We had old data to work with when it was created, we just need.
Oh, okay.
We need to update it with what the actual budget
Isn't
is.
I will
even
get that.
dipped in to take anything out of it.
Oh, no, he took it already.
You think so?
Oh, no, July 1st, they take
the
it.
first day of the
Oh,
year.
okay, okay.
take it at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year.
The 52?
Which again has to
He
be
took more than that.
Oh, he did, okay.
Yeah.
205 to
and 91.
I'll find out the exact amounts.
Well, that was over 100 for each.
Yep, 119 and 108 or something
I
like
think if
that.
you look at the number, it's probably double whatever the number is, because I think we cut it.
Took half.
We cut it in half,
Yeah.
So it should be 105 each.
But I'll get the exact ones and fix that.
Okay, and then we've got the revenue reports.
The way you read it, it's still there.
Okay, and the revenues. So far,
Are you gonna have a problem with, the overtime?
Yeah. I don't even know what awaits us. It's been nonstop overtime right now. Stations and full meetings, new stuff coming in now. It's just starting on the treatment, so I'm gonna have to go for the, May meeting,
Because you're at 42% of.
you know.
Yep,
Should be a
33, yep.
Should be leveling off
And sewer is lower.
construction project shortly.
But you have, the secondary out there, you have 20 available there, too. So now it's,
Okay. Any other questions on, the budgets? Okay. Superintendent's report?
It's some highlights. The upcoming construction, the construction project is gearing down. The only services left to put in are the ones in Fairview. And most of those, about half of that's been done. So we're coming to the end pretty much of,
Down in the 20s tonight and tomorrow.
yeah, so we'll be all right as far as the external, the external water service goes. We'll be probably removing that at the end of this week, or beginning of next week. Flushing is becoming a major problem now because of the backwashing at the treatment center. So any complaints that come in, which are gonna come in, we're gonna have to address it when we can address it. I've started to try to do the high area, and I only got a couple days out of it, and we had to stop. So, we're running into time where I may not be able to flush the entire system like I want to because of the winter weather. I just don't know when I'm gonna be able to yet. I'm hoping in another 2 weeks, when they stop the processes down there, because it drains the tanks down. So that's one thing. A lot of the services we've corrected with dirty water, so we haven't heard anything from them yet. I've also, Jen, do we have the quotes? Did you happen to have the quotes for Charlton Fence and the other guy?
No, I printed off
Superior
Charlton
Fence.
for you. I dropped Charlton Fence in your, in the,
Fence, yep.
So, we're required to secure the tanks and secure the Station 1. The other ones are being done, and some have already been secured. I got some pricing on some fencing for, at least start off with Bates Tank for the retention pond, which we have a siphon in there. We have a pit in there, hydrant and sampling thing over there. That has to be also just sectioned around with a 4-foot fence. That's gonna be about $4,500 from one company and $5,000 from another company. So I'm gonna go with the cheaper one now and just do that project before winter comes. The other project is contingent upon some factors with the building going up and how we wanna route the fence around Station 1. It could get extremely expensive if we went all the way around the well field, or go from the building, say, out to the area where they walk through where the rock is, stop it at the wood line there, so they don't drive any vehicles down into the well field. And then, of course, from the building to the wood line on the left side of the building, we cover that well field area there. Probably be something as we go along and see how we do with that. I have to wait for DEP. They're coming in with the sanitary, so she'll probably give us a strike on that one, but that, we
Say,
can.
wasn't this on the last sanitary survey?
They didn't seem to put that because of the construction, so we didn't kinda know what they were you know, what they were gonna be looking for this time around.
But
So,
was it included in the last sanitary?
I don't
sewer
remember if
update?
she included that in there.
For some reason, I thought we had that conversation, and
We were talking about it and,
I know we talked about the
I think
fence, but I don't
it
think
came
it
up at
was.
the,
yeah.
because of the storage tank. That's
Yeah,
all
the
I
fences,
remember.
well, yeah, the tanks, we put the fences around, and then we have one at the Bates, and we put the new one up at Dresser Hill, so all the new stuff's been done. This was just the final thing, and Station 1 is still in pieces, so, and I've had to move some stuff off to do work in the back myself, to grade off some things, so
Did we not include fences in the project? when we
I,
did Station
I don't think so. I asked Jeff Well back on it, who's gonna check into it, but, right now, Bates is kind of its only, that wasn't part of it for that pit, because we didn't know what we had till we put the pit in. So, at least
Right,
I'll start
okay,
with that one.
I'm just looking at
Yeah,
Station 1.
yeah. I'm gonna check with Jeff again on it and see, because we can't do anything this year anyway with it. It's just getting too late. I just wanna do the one in the fence area over there, secure Bates, so we're all set there, just for dogs, animals, people, whatever.
Think we'd get a better pricing of pricing it all at once?
I've got two prices in on the same thing. They're all pretty much within
But
$500.
Right, but
apart.
that's for just Bates, right? Or is that for,
That's for both places, but the prices I got for Bates were $500 difference. So I'm going with the lowest one. And everybody else we were talking that came in was way up, higher than that even. So these were the two good ones that were at least Superior and Charlton. And their pricing is going up now because of the steel. So that's another change upcoming. So I'd rather at least get that done before it goes any higher for next year. So that's what we're working on with that.
Looks like it's, if you add all three sections of the fence at the main station, it's, 9,000, $14,000.
Somewhere in there. But the question is, do you want people have the right to walk on the right side going in. That's a
No.
town, that's a town
Don't
lane.
have the right to walk there.
In your Zone 1.
If it's in the Zone 1, they do not.
That's,
Not supposed to.
It's been a path there for years, and that's been accepted, but it doesn't have to be that way.
well, I'd rather allow the one pathway and have the other area secured than start a commotion, people trying to destroy the fence because they can't get through. I'd rather just.
Destroy it, then we call the police and.
If they destroy it, that's a tampering with a public water supply, it's a
Yeah.
felony offense.
But at least give them access to going from one to the other, but they can't get into the well field. That was my priority, is keeping the well field full.
Well, it depends on what the state says.
But you're well fielded, and now that you took away a tubular well field, which was a 250-foot zone 1, it's now a 400-foot zone 1. So you're not supposed to have any activity that's not public water supply related in your zone 1.
That's unfortunately, right now, we have a lot of activity with neighbors around that I can't block off. You know, I can't stop. I have equipment that still has to move around, and unfortunately, they come with the moving and with their dog. So if I go one side, leave them access to get to the beach side, the rest of it's cordoned off. They can't come into my area, you know. But I guess I'll have to talk to DEP what they
See
say
what
about
the,
it.
what the state says.
But anyway, we're gonna start with Bates tank, and at least get that squared away. Does anybody have any questions on this? Because, I have to get into an area, mainly on the sewer side.
on your report?
Yeah.
What was the incident with the F-150?
The cabinet door of the box truck dropped down as someone was pulling out, and the F-150s were on the side of it, and of course, he didn't know it. The latch broke apart. It's fixed now because it came back from HQ with the air system in it. But it took the whole driver's door, gouged right into it, and split it like cutting a pie. And then it took the fender and rearranged that. So, I brought it down to S&H to see if they can fix that part of it there so we can use the truck. And this is why he actually showed me that other truck he had totally refurbed. And I kind of think I'm going to make that deal with him to fix that truck and grab the new truck or a new old truck to give me a couple of years out of it. Because I don't want to buy new trucks now with what we're going through and what, the rates and stuff, but I need the truck. I need 2 trucks on the road. I'm doubling up people. I'm not using the box truck for running around doing small jobs. It's happening too much now. then I'm gonna have a bigger problem when that truck has a problem. I just put a lot of money into that truck, so, and the sewer truck is also a heavy-duty work truck too. Trying not to get that running around, and that's doing a lot of running around too.
Do you send everybody out separately?
You have to, because there's so much work out there. Lawn cutting takes one truck, sampling takes another truck, GIS mapping takes another truck. Brian is nonstop, running from station to station, treatment, whatever. He's also doing meter repairs, and meter work's being done with 2 trucks at many times, doing meter repairs, meter replacement, exception, when we do the exception meters. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and I'll get to more on the sewer part, what I'm saying on that. So I want to at least get everybody, keep working. This should be one person doing one job unless 2 are required for something. When it's a major incident, everybody comes in to help, or whatever it is, or 2 people are doing a job with the heavy-duty equipment or something like that.
I'm not in favor of buying 15-year-old trucks. It just doesn't,
It's gonna be a money pit.
Well,
that's just gonna be expenses.
We went through it with him. Everything has been replaced in it, done with it. The accident caused some issues. He had it all done over. It's 5 and 5 for both departments to pitch in and fix the other one. That gives me 2 trucks back, and they're both in good running shape. I drove this one around, put it through some paces. It's very responsive. It's a good truck, and there's no rust on it. So that I'm already ahead of it. And it's got remote start, so I can't beat that. But
4-door crew cab.
it's 4-car crew cab, so the guys can now, if we got 2 or 3 or 4 guys going to something or an event or classes, like say you got 3 want to go,
They don't need to, because they all have their own trucks.
huh? No, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. We want to save fuel. It's also a fuel saver, it's for the 150, would save us a little bit of fuel there.
What do you think the fuel saving is between what you wouldn't put on the road versus them?
What do you mean? No, it's
So
not-
you put the box truck on the road, put that.
Oh, Jesus. See, putting the box truck on the road through a whole day puts me through half a tank of fuel just by meter, like, say I go to meter houses, do the meters and all that, half a tank is already gone. And it's back and forth, in and out, stop and go, all this, it just can't do that. Those trucks are designed for work, and to be sitting there as tool trucks or holding, working with equipment.
So why are we buying a truck? Why
Because
can't we get a car?
because a car can't do good as far as putting stuff in it. And this truck is like a car and a truck. My little truck is like a car and a truck. It's kind of our truck cars. They can hold stuff, put equipment in there, and they're versatile in their fuel economy, at least better than,
A 2012 F-150 crew cab 4x4 is gonna get 12 miles to the gallon. And even worse with us driving around. Are we green communities?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would say we should put a request into the town to put in a proposal to green communities to get an electric vehicle. We know we won't get it because.
well, I
of the
can't,
reason the town
I can't go that route where I could wait, even though I went to town meeting and all that crap to do it, to get another
George.
truck, I'd be crazy.
We talk about expenses. I had specifically asked that this one be held back for our local dealership, our local Ford dealership. We paid $632 to replace a $2.75 hose clamp.
Well, they took the whole intake manifold off to get to
Why?
that hose clamp. I'm not on to what that new truck
I'm
has.
just, it's buying old trucks is just,
That's not an old truck though, that's an 18 and had that problem.
why,
Right, but you wanna buy a 2012.
I'd rather buy a 2012, easier to work on and cheaper to work on, and already been run through with all new equipment and revamped, than a brand new one that's gonna end up breaking without no warranty.
okay,
I mean, you guys gotta understand what we're going through out there. It's not a simple thing as you think. And in order to keep my equipment running throughout the courses of all these, we're all over the place. I'm gonna get into more trouble. So at least with this, it'll get me through a couple of years down the line, then we can reset and go for either a green vehicle or a newer vehicle or whatever.
I gotta believe, this construction work is gonna slow down this month. Winter's coming, you're not gonna be out on the road like you are in this other 3 seasons. Like I say, buying a used truck is just someone else's problem,
It's not an expensive truck. It's $10,000 for.
We got a building we purchased we don't have installed yet.
Oh, I know, we're gonna get it. I mean,
It's like, where's the spending end? That's it's starting to get to be my idea, where's the spending
The
end?
growth of the department is here. I'm sorry to
How many
say, but
customers-
we're
the growth of the
overgrown with
department-
work and
But we haven't taken on a bigger customer base outside of one small project. All the growth is the construction end where someone will be working at the treatment plant. We haven't extended any mains, we haven't
got all-
built any roads.
all Basin Road, all these roads are all new mains, all new work, all new,
Trouble-free then. All the new construction means trouble-free.
we got avenues next to these mains that have to be done. They're all AC pipe that are brittle. But
Okay,
anyway, so, any other
so
questions?
you had a
Oh, well, yeah, the
concern
other
about
thing.
sewer, what's up
Okay.
there?
For those guys that know or don't know, I have got no firm commitment from, the plant operator at sewer plant when he's deciding to leave. It was supposed to be November. Apparently that's changed. So the idea was to have a guy over there learning. I mean, he's learned some things, but not to the capacity that I wanted him to, because we've had some issues with, of course, the construction crap and the issues with the disposal of sewer. That was shut down for a while, so they couldn't go out and jet, or do other things they needed to do. They're starting some things now, but that's still not enough. If he's going to be staying on for another year or two, then it's gonna be basically a two-man operation unless there's a bigger job to be done, and then the help will come his way. I have 2 licensed operators for the water system on that department too. And I'm gonna end up now rotating them into the water, because we get too much to do. And once a week, one will come over, help out. Next week, the other one will come in and help out for a week. It'll go rotation.
Misunderstood, you have 4 guys at the sewer plant right now?
I have 3 at the sewer right now. One is supposed to be learning, and the one that's supposed to be leaving was supposed to be leaving this month. That's not happening now. So that takes away what the object of that was supposed to be. So I'm not gonna have 3 guys working the sewer. It's not gonna, we're too backed up. So they're gonna rotate.
3 people down there.
Yeah, they're gonna rotate, and they're all good with it. They're gonna rotate one
3 of them are
operator,
gonna- All 3 of them are gonna rotate?
2. The other one's
Two
not
of
a
them are
licensed
water
operator.
operators.
I want water operators to come in and out. The other one will come in and help us with other work if we need it, but not involved with actual water stuff. So I just wanna let the board know that we're not, until I get in, well, when it happens, we'll prepare for it then. I'm sure I'll get at least a year's notice, whenever, the opportunity is coming where the individual's gonna retire. He's at 80%, so he can retire.
Okay. Anything else with the superintendent's report?
Why aren't we just pulling someone back?
For what? I think
Why aren't we just pulling a water operator back to water?
I want both of them. One has been with us, I won't mention names, but, one has been with us around, he's helpful with certain things that the other one doesn't know, and the other one can learn things too. So they both can be active in what's been revamped, what's coming up that they may not know, either one of them. So we're just rotating them both through. I'd rather have,
How does this come into effect with union positions?
it's my discretion to, and as long as, they can give me some flack over it, of course, but it's my right to assign them to work water. That was part of on one of them, part of the hiring. The other one has already been done the water work, and he's willing to come over and help out too. So they've been both gracious enough to see our dilemma and work with us and help us out.
On the flip side,
Don't
they're
need
both,
graciousness, we don't need acceptance of dilemma. It's either one of them comes over and works over here, or we're gonna push somebody off. It's that simple.
Yeah,
We
well,
don't
I'm
need
gonna
3
have
people
both of
on
them
sewer.
rotate
Okay.
through.
and
All right.
Both
I agree
learn.
with George, because those 2, at least, are learning something from the
Yes.
sewer.
I like the cross-training that's going
Yeah.
on there.
It has to happen, because they come and help us on numerous times, and if they don't, all of a sudden, well, what's this? And, it doesn't help us very much.
Did we not have these arguments when we were doing the job descriptions though?
Yes.
We brought these up and it always came back to the union position says you can't make them do this or that, and you always go to, in emergency situations, I can dictate where they go.
And
How is this an emergency?
It's not under emergency, it's just under delegating the work. I'm delegating their work, to where they're gonna do for the week, and this is the way I'm delegating it, I have that right as the superintendent, and that's what it's doing. If they have a problem with that, we'll sit down and discuss it. I can delegate hours if I wanted, with sufficient time, if I want. I mean, there's management's rights that are involved here too. And we have a problem, either that or you lay off. That's the bottom line. So I don't, these guys have always worked very close and.
We're not gonna pay 3 people to be on sewer.
Yeah, so I don't anticipate any problems.
Don't need it.
That's the report.
Lucky we never hired a laborer then.
We've got an extra budgeted position. We have 3 budgeted on sewer and 4 budgeted on water. We have an extra position on the budget. Those salaries are gonna have to come out of the right pool of money. We can't pay sewer people to do water. We can't pay water folks out of the sewer budget and vice versa.
And how are those being charged now, where you said you've got 2 different sewer operators?
Right, and this
overseeing
is,
the water projects?
One operator is there overseeing, basically for sewer, is also looking at the water as it's going by. So he's having eyes on both as they're working through the construction. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. We're off doing something else. They're just manning the observations for us.
we've got an extra position and they're all being drawn against. And the superintendent is split 50-50. The administrative assistant is split. Primary operator, secondary operator, and operator. That's 3 people. They're all at, 2 of them at 33%, and 1 of them's at 13. Then you go over to sewer, and you've got the superintendent, then you've got main operator, secondary operator, and superintendent and administrative assistant are half.
Right, so, okay.
You've got an extra person, and they're all
No.
drawn at the 33%.
You don't have an extra person. I'm sorry. So you have the superintendent and admin on water.
Right.
You have the primary operator.
Right,
You have the secondary operator,
Right.
who is back.
right,
And you have the operator,
okay.
who is there.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, all
Okay.
right, yep. I was missing.
Trying not to-
I was missing a
Gotcha.
person, yes, without throwing names out there. I was missing a person, yes. Okay,
So he's gonna go for
yep, all right.
it. So, sorry, but that's why you are,
But if you're bringing over somebody, we're under budgeted on the water department for a 4th.
Why do we have 3
Person.
people budgeted on sewer?
That's their primary job is sewer. They're budgeted to the sewer.
Right, but we never had 3 people. You brought
Right.
1 person
Over
to
to,
start training. to
Yes,
replace.
and
We
that
have
has-
3 full-time positions.
That
budgeted.
secondary operator too was a new, we
That's-
funded it to train. And now it's not being trained.
still doing sewer work, that's why the rotation, they'll still be doing sewer work and water work. So, because otherwise you're talking a layoff. And that's not fair. No, it's not fair. I don't care what you say, it's not
You
fair at
can't
all.
hire people to replace someone and then say the person that who they were replacing
Isn't gonna leave.
going away and just keep hiring more people.
Right.
And this isn't even a safer grant, so we can't justify
The-
funding it.
You need time to train somebody to learn the system. You can't put, say, the guy moves off, what's his name moves into his position, now he's left with a guy who knows nothing, it's
You
dangerous.
have a person that knows the system. You have 2 people there now.
No, say that again?
You have 2 people that have been in sewer for many
Yeah,
years.
but what if that other person is off for that day and this other guy comes in by himself?
What if all 6 of your operators quit on the same day.
Well, I mean, I don't wanna
What
put,
if,
I don't wanna
yeah.
put myself in that position.
What ifs, or,
No, that's
Yeah,
I
what
mean.
ifs are what ifs, but
But you can't fund a $60,000 position.
I'm hoping he'll narrow down a time frame where he's going to go retire. Because I
Well, this
was
is-
hopeful.
Well, right
this-
now, you have the work for the guys we have.
I
Right?
got a lot of work for the guys we have.
I wanna say it's a mute, whether it's, the work's gonna get done. In the future, if we don't need the extra guy,
okay, but we're also, we're crossing enterprises, which is not allowed for funding. We're taking a sewer person being funded by the sewer enterprise, and we're having them work for the water
but
enterprise.
as long as his pay comes
Those are-
out of both.
It doesn't.
What needs to-
It doesn't.
I
It's
don't
not
have-
budgeted that way.
I don't have the money
You don't-
in water.
You don't have the money in water to
To
employ
pay a
a
salary.
fourth person. You don't have the money in the water budget to fund a fourth person.
His is for a year. This, I can't use the name.
Yep, the secondary sewer. Yep.
Yeah,
It
he-
was funded under the, because he's been over there for 6 or 8 months now. And it was funded into this year because it had to be,
And it was supposed to be.
and because
be pulled back
the
when-
other was supposed to retire. So it was funded to cover him for part of it. And then it was under the impression that the would retire. That's why that position was funded.
I understand, it was like, it was funded.
It was funded for the whole year.
Full salary.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And aside from my issues with that, being just a collection system, it's not a good treatment. There's issues, and I understand you have management rights, but you can't budget positions and then just say, well, you work here because this guy's not retired. If any of them just all of a sudden start throwing grievances at you, that you're making them do a position that is not what their job description is, regardless of management rights, management right doesn't come in to just.
Well, then the
staff
only other
positions
avenue,
And then use them however you
the
want.
only other avenue is to open a position in the water and dismiss the position in the sewer. If you wanna go that route.
But you wanna open a position that
Well,
doesn't exist.
we're in the middle of a budget
I
season.
know,
We can't just add a-
you know, that would be something, we'd hold off until we can do that and do that.
But there's multiple issues with crossing the departments. One with
Right.
the OR, one with
Right.
the union contracts, and you're.
Well, it's, I'm sorry, but the other one is the enterprises using,
Well, that's
Sewer
the DOR, that's the
enterprise.
DOR issue.
That's the DOR.
right.
The DOR has an issue with you intermingling funds.
Right? There's an issue there, and that issue needs to be, we may need to have an executive session meeting to talk about positions. I don't think, is it appropriate to talk about that in public set?
You can talk about positions.
Right.
If
Yeah.
there's any,
You just can't talk about people in positions. But you can talk about positions all day long.
Okay.
we're talking about budget line items here.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. But there's an issue there.
I just think that
Sorry.
we're discussing other funding sources and payments in line item 23.
On water, 23? Oh, yes. Yep.
That just opens up a can of worms.
Right. Yeah, these numbers aren't even close to what that number is.
I'm just saying that particular topic.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know this stuff is,
It just exposes you, George.
Well, then that would be, it would be we'll have to make a deadline. If that doesn't a certain thing doesn't happen by, say May, use me as an example, then I'm gonna have to eliminate and possibly try for a new position through the union, through the water. Because,
Or get money in the water budget to pay.
But now you're adding another.
Or adding yet another position, right?
I understand that, but if, I see George's point, if we have, I like the idea of cross-training,
I've always been for cross-training.
but if we have the money for, like, what he wants to do, okay, he's gonna come more for water, pay him out of the water budget, and then,
But we have to create job descriptions that allow for that.
the
Don't have
new
job descriptions.
union, new union, is coming up for this year. In June or whatever, they're gonna start negotiating earlier in May. That's the time when we have to start developing some of these positions, because we can't, you guys just are invited to participate in that too.
We are?
We were told that last time.
We never
were
have
not
that.
allowed.
Never once.
Make sure that happens. But,
No,
That was
I mean, we
specifically
need,
said
we
at
need
a
to have,
selectmen's meeting that we would.
we need to have appropriate job descriptions so that we have something to push for.
the object of the game was to have new hires cross-trained on both departments. And that was the whole thing. Somehow, what was written and what was finalized wasn't exactly worded right.
That's because,
The whole thing was worded incorrectly, because we wrote specific job descriptions that were thrown out, and they were written however other
and they
people.
were written by union lawyers. Because the ones that came from the corner, the ones that they sent us from the corner office were not the same ones we voted on. They were different.
That's what I looked at when I saw that too, and I says, this isn't what was,
Exactly, so that's an issue. We have needs in the department that need to be met.
So I think,
Job descriptions need to be written in order to give you the authority to use cross-training.
yeah.
It's not written that way.
Anyway, I'd like to carry this on until we start looking at it in May.
When's
For
the
the-
union contract?
That's coming up in this coming year.
So we can't wait till May to discuss it. We need to get, job descriptions are gonna take 2 or 3 meetings, just here.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, I have to develop another position to save a position, to possibly remove that position when this individual decides to retire.
You're creating positions to save people.
Well, I'm doing it because I've got guys we've invested a lot of money in. It's hard to get to get licensed people. Then my people know what's going on in our department.
Why we hire them licensed to begin with. But we can't because the union contract doesn't.
Well, this one doesn't fall into that. This one comes in because of a certain situation that arises.
Yeah, okay,
The positions should be licensed positions regardless.
right.
By law, the secondary operator needs to be fully licensed. Fully licensed doesn't mean they pass the test. It's 2 years after you pass the test before you can get a full license. So you're operating with unlicensed people covered. It does not meet the law.
Okay.
So regardless of what the union says, the union can't tell you you have to hire unlicensed people to fill a position. That'd be like saying we're gonna hire 16-year-olds to be cops because we like the guy, but he can't have a driver's license and he can't have a license to carry a gun. But we're gonna hire him because the union decided they want this kid to come in and work. You have to be able to carry a gun to be an officer, and you have to be able to drive a vehicle.
Okay. Anything else with the superintendent's report?
Mr. Chairman, I meant
Yeah,
to,
go ahead.
me?
Go ahead.
Oh, George, could you, for our next meeting, get us a list of the trucks we have? The mileage, the years, just a quick breakdown of like what we spent on maintenance?
I mean,
What do we, what that truck cost us last year, whatever.
We make that an agenda item for, maybe we can look at, equity lease programs and I can bring some information.
So leases are typically a little different for municipality. I know that they've discussed it, I don't know if it's something. A lease typically gets you a benefit for a tax break. We don't pay tax
But I think if we have it in front of us, we can, okay, justify, do we need a new truck? Or maybe we gotta look and say, okay, we have this, we're gonna rotate. This year, we're gonna, upgrade and, put it in the budget that way.
Okay? That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I have an inventory.
What
See what we own,
the
the
truck
years are.
inventory is, the mileage on it, yeah, and the maintenance expenses. Rough. I mean, maintenance, you can go back and look.
Well, truck that costs the most right now is the big box truck, all the work you've done on that. You got 2 brand new ones, so they're under warranty.
All right, superintendent's report. Anything else on that?
Well, as for the vehicles, since we're discussing vehicles, do we allow on-call to take the vehicle?
On call for the,
Whoever's on call to take the vehicle?
that's their option, but usually they don't. Brian's the only one that takes right now, or myself, but
Because
Brian,
he's getting called.
yeah, that's because we're the only ones that come in emergencies right away.
So I'm just thinking if you got a small SUV, or like I even said with a car or something, just, if you're traveling with it, just back and forth to work, that's far more economical. And what do you need in there if you're responding to an emergency? Gate wrench, which they got collapsible ones that'll fit in any trunk. Curb wrench, you can probably fit in any vehicle.
All depends on if we can even get at it, if we have to go back, get something to clean it out with, like a wrenching tool or whatever, I don't know.
Do you keep all that in all the trucks?
Almost all the trucks, everything that you need, whatever it is, service trucks do.
And discuss it when we look
Just
at
thinking,
Okay.
whether,
economics
before we
wise.
buy something,
Right.
Yep.
Maybe it makes sense, we put together, a comprehensive vehicle plan for the next 5 years, or whatever we determine is a good period to look at.
Okay. Anything else with the superintendent's report? All right, before we get to board comments, the moratorium that we have on sewer. We have a property that has been brought to us. They are trying to sell it. The septic system has failed. And they want to tie the sewer. And it's in that zone. What, I don't, the difference between an existing home and a new construction, I don't know what we can justify.
Still
I'm just throwing it out
service
there.
tying into the
it's
system.
a service.
It is a new service tying into the system, that's correct. This house is not sellable without being able
It
to.
is.
Connecting, they can put a new septic system.
Yes.
in. It's just
Right.
Oh, they have to put a Title V, okay.
Yep, they can put a septic system
right.
in. It just would be limitations because of the size of the property.
Is that unit, yeah.
I was just gonna say, those are
property's not
small
big
lots
enough.
up there, right?
Yeah, but
That
because
property's
it,
not big enough for a Title
To
V.
get a Title V is almost impossible up
well,
there.
they've had a septic
It'll be
system
an
there.
engineered system.
Yep, it'll be, and it'll have to have, nitrogen,
Pump chambers and all that.
and nitrogen, exchange because of the small property. That's what,
Probably a $60,000
correct.
septic system as opposed to 20 to 25.
Okay, I just wanted to.
I don't think we can
We have a
just-
moratorium, I don't know what we can, if we can justify anything under that.
It doesn't change the law that says we can't add any more that's gonna contribute to.
Okay. Yep, that, just wanted to put it out there, okay?
Thank you, that's what I've been telling the 80 real estate agents that have called about it, but I just wanted it
Yep.
put in front.
Okay. And.
Then we'll kick in to help pay for the interceptor, maybe.
There is, there is a meeting next, I think, trying to find out, it was proposed a couple weeks ago. One of the people listed as a person being attending it, doesn't know anything about it yet.
If you
and-
saw, I sent the email this afternoon, and I'm
Right.
just waiting for a response. If I don't have anything by tomorrow, I'll go and find out.
Okay, so it's next Thursday, the 9th. I know we have the two, progress meetings in the morning, 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. I'm planning on being here for it, but it's to discuss the Eagle Drive project and the ways forward. I know we discussed it, actually, it's to put it here, we discussed it a little bit in Webster last Thursday, but it's there. They asked to have two members of the Water Sewer Commission to be there. I'm planning on being there.
Can you go?
If anybody else wants to go, or anybody else can go,
I have asked for the meeting to be following the other two,
that would be
where Jeff
like
is
noontime.
going to be here. It would make sense, so I tried to put it in the noonish timeframe. I'll see what I'm getting for a response.
Because I mean, he's gonna be here from
10.
10 to 12. It doesn't make sense to have the meeting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now the guy's gotta sit around and wait for us all day.
The 9th we're talking,
The 9th, yes.
what time?
Yeah, that's what they're looking at now.
Right now, I can be available, so.
I'll let you know once I get definitive.
But that's, they want,
Unless we post it as a-
unless
Yeah,
we post
and
it
if-
as a public meeting.
I can you let me know, and I'll gladly post it. I have no problem.
Just in case, I would say post it anyways.
Takes nothing for me to do that.
Yeah.
And then, but
You can find yourself nothing to do all day.
yeah, we have concerns. Those have been, I don't want to talk about it openly just because that's
So,
negotiation.
I think that you may fall under an executive session.
Yes, it would. That's,
Okay,
So if you post it, that's not,
I shall.
it's under, litigation.
Yep.
yep. Those were the two things that came up while Eagle Drive, that discussion has been for a couple of weeks, but they didn't make the agenda, just for, board comments. Tom?
So,
So, do we have a area that's DOT that we're doing any of these projects on? Just this
It's
road?
Main Street, yeah.
So West Main, do we have the,
Just a permit for it.
the permit through DOT? Can I get a copy of that?
Jack McDillon, just.
I get the emails regarding it. I'll look through and find.
Shapes, fine.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I wanna see the permit.
Okay.
Just to touch it down.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was discussion about that the other day, so,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if you have the same discussion that I'm thinking, but
I will,
enlighten us.
Okay.
it's just the district that we're working with. They're not the easiest district to work with. And they have some specific requirements that I don't know. This is in our contract. And I just want to verify.
Okay,
Because it can get costly.
okay. And I have nothing.
Make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.